Hello, welcome back to school. I am going to go through real briefly because this is some stuff that we actually covered in class today. Um, the Braille, in short, the Braille music symbols for just the notes and the rests. I think this will be a nice addition to the Braille playlist and a nice review before I do my homework. Because I will eventually, the chart that I put up on the board, I'm going to have to copy that out like 5 times. Yeah. So, we are going to do that. So, first, a couple things about Braille music is, it's all linear. There's no treble clef or bass clef or any of that stuff. There's none of that. There are notes and dots that represent rhythms. But there's no like treble clef or bass clef or 5 lines. All of that information is represented by octave marks and the actual pitch note name per se. Like, I wouldn't say pitch. Well, note name. Let's do pitch name. Pitch name with the rhythm. So, real short, real quick. All of the pitches are either labeled with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then obviously it repeats again. Or else you could use the solfege, which is what I do. I use the solfege. It just keeps things as clear as can be. So, we are going to make a, what do you call it? An XY grid. We're going to do like that lower quadrant type thing. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to put the pitches, do, re, mi, fa, sol. I think I'm running out of space. Sol, la, and T. I'm going to erase this stuff in the corner. It's something I really don't need. I don't know where my green one is. Here it is. So we're gonna erase. Yeah. Erase that. So we got sol, la, and T over here in the corner. Okay. So we have all of our pitches. Now on this side, we also almost forgot. We're gonna put rests. So that covers, oops, because I totally mark across my text here. Okay, so we got all the pitches, and then we got the rests over in the corner. On this side, on the far left-hand corner, we're going to draw the English of what these notes are. I find that easier if I write out the actual words. It's going to get all wordy. So we're going to start with the 8th note or the quaver. This note is going to be your foundation for all the other notes. So we got the quaver, and then we have the quarter note, which is the crotchet, and then we have the minim or the half note, and then we have the whole note or the semi-breve. Okay, so we could easily put in like the fractional things. That's an eighth. That's a quarter. That is 1/2. And this is 1/2. I mean, you could like, I don't know if that means anything, but yeah. Just to make it look pretty with all the others. Okay, so now we're going to go into the Braille dots. Now, we are using solfege for writing all these. And Louis Braille, in my very, I think it's in my history of Braille, I had mentioned that Louis Braille was a musician. He played organ, violin, piano. So he knew around the musical world. And so being French, as the French still do today, they use solfege for indicating, for identifying the notes. They don't call their notes A, B, C. They call them do, re, mi. So Louis Braille, he starts his pitches with this symbol here. That's 1, 4, 5. And if you've seen Braille in the literacy context or been following along with any of the other Braille videos that are out there, mine or other people's, you'll recognize, hey, that's the letter D. Well, D happens to be the first letter of do. So that is how Louis Braille started his music alphabet. So he starts with this symbol, and he's just gonna continue on up, and you will not believe what happens at the end. So we have this pitch is D, and for re, we write out the pitch E, or the letter E. And a way that I memorize this one is that this is the letter E, and re has the letter E in its spelling. The letter mi is basically the inverse of the letter do. It is something that you just memorize. Don't have anything fun for that. But D or mi is essentially, it's the letter F. And then sol. Oh, we've almost forgot fa. Fa is very interesting. Fa being the same as the letter G. It has a very distinct touch under the fingers. So that is how fa is. Sol, now this, how I memorize where sol is, or what sol is it's the letter H. It's the same dots as the letter H. And as I actually mentioned this to the teacher, is if you write out sol with an H, you got chol. That's how I learned that. That's how I memorize that the Braille pitch sol has the same dots as the letter H. I don't think I did a very good job of removing my special chalk. I used my special chalk today in class, and I don't think I erased it very well. It still is, there's still little bits of it on the board. Next one, la. La is kind of interesting. La is, it's the letter I. It uses the same dots as the letter I. And I think of this, I don't know why, but I think of this like alpha and omega. Alpha, like God. So this thing essentially is pointing up towards God, and law has the A in it. That's how I memorized that one. Then the last one is T. T is used with the same dots as the letter J. Just as T is the last pitch of the music scale, J is the last letter of the first 10 letters of the Braille music, or the Braille literacy. Once you get to T or J, you start again back at A with additional dots. So this will take us into all these other symbols. So just like in literacy, we can take, say, the letter A. If we were to make the letter A and the letter B, we have, let's see here, we have A, we have B, and if we added to this A, if we added dots 1 and then dot 3, you get the letter K. And with B, if you add dots 1, 2 with dot 3, you get the letter L. The same concept holds true for music when you are working with the different rhythms. So we're going to go through that real quick. We're going to erase all of this. All right. I gotta find I think I might need to get another chalk. Okay. So now we have the quarter note or the crotchet. These notes all up here, these are called quavers. And this is the foundation of where music students begin when they're learning to read music, as they will use all quavers. In fact, today, teacher wrote his very first magnum opus. But it was very interesting on the musical sense, but it accomplished the purpose what he wanted to have me do. But yes, so if we were to write these notes as crotchets or quarter notes, we are just going to add 1 dot. So we're first going to bring down the note here. This is do, and currently it says this is an 8th note or a quaver. We're going to add dot 3, and this dot 3 is going to tell you, okay, this is now a do, but it's held for a quarter beat. And I'm not going to go into all the details of what a beat is or anything. We're just going through the Braille stuff, so. Okay. The next one, re. We draw our pitch, and then you simply just add dot 3. Again, this is all freehand, so yeah, it's not going to be like precise, correct, but I will do my best. So this is what a re quarter note looks like. I'm just thinking. Next we have mi. Draw the pitch mi. That's 1, 2, 4. That's your pitch mi, and if we add dot 3, that is what your note looks like in Braille for a quarter note mi. And we could continue this all the way through. Fa, you're going to write out your pitch fa. 1, 2, 4, 5. And then you add dot 3. And that is your crotchet or your quarter, whatever language you want to use. Your sol, you make out your sol, your pitch, and then you add your rhythm. Am I saying dot 3? If I'm saying dot 3, these are dot 6s. I don't know why I'm saying dot 3, if I am saying dot 3. But continuing, this is dot 6. I do know Braille. I should know Braille. Okay, continuing. I'm just, yeah, my brain is bombarded with stuff right now. Next pitch, la, points up towards the alpha. Then you add dot 6, and there you have your crotchet la pitch, or A if you want to use alphabetical terms. But because I like to use solfege, I'm sticking with solfege. The last one is T. So you write out your T, your pitch, then you add your rhythm dot 6, and that is how your dot 6 added to T makes that note into a quarter note. Now, next we have a half note. This is going to be the next value up in the measurements of things. Obviously, 2 of these are going to equal 1 of these, and 4 of these is going to equal 2 of these, and 1 of these. Fractional stuff that, yeah. Okay. So, we're going to again start at the beginning with do. We're going to write out the pitch dot 1, 4, 5. And if we were to write out a dot 6, that would be the wrong symbol because we don't need a quarter note, we need a half note. And for that, we need to put in a dot 3. Watch this. Now I get everything mixed up again. So this is your dot 3 with your do, and that equals your solfege do half note. And then with your mi or re, you make a dot 1 and 5, and then you add dot 3. Again, this is all freehand, so it's not going to be precise. That is 1, 5 or 1, 3, 5. 1, 5, 3 is your mi, re, and it is a half note. I don't know, what time did I wake up this morning? It's sometime after 9, and I feel like I haven't got any sleep. Okay, the next one, la or mi, you're going to draw your pitch. 1, 2, 4, and then you're going to add that 3, and there is your mi quarter note, or your mi half note. I think I need to go back to bed. Fa. Again, fa has the most dots, so it's going to be more unique to feel the pitches. So we've drawn out the pitch, then we add the rhythm, dot 3, and that will give us our half note fa. Sol, we're now about halfway there. There's our pitch, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 5. Then you add dot 3. And there is your eighth, or your half note sol, la. Some of these you can recognize as letters. Like, hey, that looks like the letter S, or that looks like the letter W. Braille has to recycle all of its symbols a lot. Otherwise, there would be just no, it just wouldn't work. So, but when we're working with music, like, although this symbol here represents the letter Q, when we're talking about music, we're not gonna refer to fa half note as Q because it doesn't make any sense. On top of that, if you try to talk to your music teacher, oh, that's a Q, your music teacher is gonna have no clue what you're talking about. So we refer to these as actual pitches and rhythm. So yeah. Okay, so la. We've written out our la. We can add that 3 for that. And that is how you get your la half note. T. We're going to draw out the pitch T. If you notice, there's kind of a pattern going on here. The pitch is always being written out first, and then the rhythm. Pitch, then rhythm. It's just how it's done. When Braille readers are talking about Braille music, and they're spelling out dots, they will spell out the pitch first, then they will indicate the rhythm. So T would be spelled, this would be a T half note. A T half note would be spelled 2, 4, 5, 3. And this would tell the student what to Braille. Is there Braille the pitch, then the rhythm. Okay, last section on the notes. We have the whole note, which is the longest of all the notes that we're going to work on right now. There are like double whole notes and but they're not used a whole lot, unless you're like looking at Renaissance music and stuff like that. Every once in a while you'll run across them, but not too often. Okay, so again, we start out with do. I'm going to have to write on my knees because it's just easier. Okay, so write out the pitch do. And we have used up at least once dot 3 and dot 6. So now we're going to use both dot 2 or 3 and 6 together, and that will indicate your whole note. So we're going to indicate dot 3 and dot 6, and that is your whole note for the pitch do. And again, we can write out re, 1, 5, with dot 3 and 6. That is your re whole note. And then mi, 1, 2, 4. And then dot 3 and 6. And that makes that a whole note. And then fa, which is probably going to be the easiest one. It literally is a whole cell filled in. There's your fa, and then dot 3 and 6. Continuing, we have sol. Write out the pitch sol. 1, 2, 5. And then dot 3 and 6. And there is your sol note. Whole note. Sol, then we have la. 2, 4 is the pitch and the rhythm. 3, 6. And that is your la half note, or your la whole note. Yeah, somebody needs to go back to bed. And then lastly, your T. 2, 3. Oh, hold on. 2, 4, 5. And then 3, 6. And that is your T. Whole note. Now, the other part that we're going to cover real quick are the rests. Here, with the pitches, you can see that there is a pattern. The eighth notes use only the top part of the cell. The quarter notes use the top part plus dot 6. The half notes use the top part of the cell plus dot 3. The whole note, or half note, uses top part of the cell plus dot 3. And your whole note uses the top part of the cell plus dots 3 and 6. There is a common, like, logical pattern to that. The rests, there's no rhyme or reason. It's just what it is. I hope the top of this chair is not in the way. I don't know, but I keep tipping this water. Okay. Let me... The eighth rest is basically the same dot as the letter X. So 1, 3, 4, 6 is your eighth rest. Your quarter rest is the same as the letter V. 1, 2, 3, and 6. There is no rhyme or reason. It's just one of those things you just memorize. The half rest is dots 1, 3, 6. This one, if you're familiar with the print half rest, this is a very shabby drawing, but this is more or less what a print half rest looks like. I've mentioned this to teacher also. This bottom part essentially represents the line, and then the top part kind of goes like that. I just have to memorize that this dot is the pointy top. But that is kind of how I learn that. And the quarter rest, hold on. The whole rest essentially is going to be this, but it's going to be flipped upside down. So you're going to have dots 1, 3, and then 1, 3, and 4. And the same concept is true. You have your picture here. That's your top part, and then your little hangy thing. That's kind of how I do it. Other than that, you just have to memorize it. So that is, for the most part, everything that we covered in class. I am actually going to leave this up here for reference, at least so I know what it is I'm working on. As we continue to dive more, a little bit deeper, like literally, we just got our toenail wet. So we haven't really covered a lot. I mean, we're just getting the toenails wet right now. So that's what we covered. That's what we looked at. That's how it's worked out. And yeah, so as we learn more about important aspects pertaining to how this actually relates to music on a staff, we're going to cover that when we cover that. But for now, I need to wash my hands, get dressed, do some homework, and then go and practice, which I don't know if I'm going to get much done there, but try to get something done. And then I have a bunch of stuff I need to get at the store. But yeah, so that's pretty much my day. If you want to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the notification bell for all notifications.